All right, here we go. Okay. Changes in chromosome structure. Now, here's a question for you that would have been on Friday and Thursday's lesson from last week. We inherit 23 chromosomes from mom. We inherit 23 chromosomes from dad. When the zygote forms that leads to us, technically the zygote was you, and me, and all of us. Dad's chromosomes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. They will pair up with mom's chromosomes, 1 through 23. So, for instance, when chromosome number 1 from dad pairs up the chromosome number 1 from mom, and they form pair number 1, what do we call that? What do you call it where a chromosome from your father pairs up with a chromosome from your mother, and they have the same traits, the same size, the same banding patterns, and they're going to form a pair? These are called homologous chromosomes. What does homo mean? The same. So this is how it goes within our cells. Chromosome 1 from mom pairs up to chromosome 1 from dad. Chromosome 2 from mom pairs up to chromosome 2 from dad. It goes all the way to pair 23. So to understand this next lesson, you need to really get that. And this is the first new word you all will get today. Today's lesson and tomorrow's lesson is going to be filled with new vocab. I tell you that genetics is a lot of terms. You have non-disjunction. Non-disjunction occurs when an individual ends up getting one extra chromosome than they should. Can you close that door? And they end up getting, or perhaps they end up missing a chromosome. So non-disjunction are changes or errors in the distribution of chromosomes. It can lead to extra chromosomes, or it can lead to missing chromosomes. I'm sure you guys have heard of Down syndrome. That is a result of non-disjunction. An individual ends up receiving 47 chromosomes when humans should typically have 46. My aunt has Turner syndrome. She has 45 chromosomes. She's missing one of her sex chromosomes. Female should have 2 X's. She has 1. There are conditions that are across the board. We'll try to get to all of them today. Whatever we don't get to today, we'll get to in the next class. So non-disjunction is something that you see in the whiteboard. I'm going to break that down further up here in your notes so it's recorded. But your next set of terms is going to be euploidy. And just use your Latin here. I want to see, I haven't asked anyone this yet. What would you think the opposite of euploidy would be? That's a good guess, non-euploidy. It's not non though, but you're on the right track. Dyseuploidy? No, you're also on the right track. What's a prefix that means the opposite of? You're closer. It's not anti-euploidy, but you're warmer. Aneuploidy. Good. What's the opposite of aerobic? Right. Aerobic means oxygen is used, anaerobic means oxygen is not used. So euploidy simply means the correct number of chromosomes. I would assume you guys are euploidic, where you're demonstrating euploidy. You're expressing euploidy. You would be euploidic, like expressing diploid means you're diploidic, or you're just diploid. For humans, if you are expressing euploidy, how many chromosomes should you have? 46 chromosomes. How many pairs is that? How many per pair? Obviously, that's what a pair means, 2 per pair. Okay. Well, aneuploidy is the incorrect number of chromosomes. For instance, humans have 23 pairs. An individual with Down syndrome has 3 chromosomes in their 21st pair. My aunt has 1 chromosome in her 23rd pair. We would say that she is aneuploidic. Now, there's 2 different classic condition or iterations of aneuploidy. The first one is called monosomy. What does mono mean? Mono means 1. Monosomy symbol is 2n minus 1. Diploid minus 1. So you are diploid. If I said to you you're human, diploid equals 46. Well, what would 2n minus 1 be? 45. Right. So monosomy simply means 1 chromosome is missing in 1 pair. I got to be really clear about that. 1 chromosome is missing in just 1 pair. Not all the pairs, 1. So in my aunt Diane, she has 2 chromosomes in her 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th, 21st, 22. But you get to her 23rd pair, she has 1. She's missing 1. An individual with Down syndrome, they have 2 chromosomes, like we do, in their 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23. In their 21st pair, they have 3 chromosomes when they should only have 2. Yes, Jasmine? Yes? Because what are the female chromosomes? You technically need 2, but X is female. There's something special we haven't gotten to yet on the Y chromosome that makes a male a male. Now, the next thing I'm going to be sure you guys are very aware of, because sometimes your brain likes to take you to the wrong way. I want to be sure you all know the difference between monosomy and haploid. You need to know the difference between the 2 of them. Monosomy is 2n minus 1. Haploid is n. So let's see if you can figure out the difference between the 2 of them. I'll give you the definition of one. You try to help me fill out the other. Cells are supposed to have 2 chromosomes per pair, which is diploid, but 1 pair results in 1 chromosome. No, it could be any pair. Well, it does matter, because most oftentimes if you're monosomic, you're not going to live. You need your chromosomes. You'd rather have extra chromosomes than missing a chromosome. It's not a mutation. A mutation is a change to the DNA. This is missing DNA. You're missing a chromosome. So guys, based on this definition, Ryan, I think you can handle this. In monosomy, if cells are supposed to have 2 chromosomes per pair, but 1 pair results in just 1 chromosome, oops. What is haploid? You should know this. Right. Is it supposed to, or is that accident? Right. Okay, so in haploid, guys, the key word here is supposed to. In haploid, cells are supposed to have 1 chromosome per pair. So if you took a skin cell, a bone cell, a heart cell, a brain cell, a cartilage cell, a blood cell, any cell from my aunt's body, how many chromosomes would be in each and every cell of her body, except for her gametes? 45. If I took a cell from Ryan, hair is dead skin, skin, blood, bone, cartilage, heart, liver, wherever, how many chromosomes will we see in his somatic cells? 46. So we would say Ryan is euploidic. My Aunt Diane is aneuploidic. Okay, now the opposite of monosomy is trisomy. This is 2n plus 1. This results in 3 chromosomes per pair, when there should only be 2. This is something like Down syndrome. In Down syndrome, they have 3 chromosomes in pair 21. So Down syndrome is classified as trisomy 21. You say what condition they have, followed by the pair that is affected. So someone with Down syndrome has trisomy. Which pair? 21. It's called trisomy 21. So let's see if you guys can tell me the difference between trisomy, which is 2n plus 1, and triploid. Yes, triploid is a real thing. It is 3n. It's seen sometimes in plants. Anybody want to try to give me just your basic interpretation of what trisomy would be based on what we put for monosomy? Jasmine? I didn't hear the first thing you said. Well, look at what we put for monosomy. Cells are supposed to have 2 chromosomes per pair, but 1 pair results in 1 chromosome. How could you correlate that to trisomy? That's it. Cells are supposed to have 2 chromosomes per pair. So they're supposed to be diploid. But 1 pair results in 3 chromosomes. And then triploid would be cells are supposed to have 3 chromosomes per pair. All chromosome pairs would have 3, which kind of is antithetical because that's what a pair means. Pair means 3, or 2, not 3. Okay. So, yeah. Go ahead. Now, I want to go over something that this class and my other afternoon classes did not get to on Monday, and it's what you see in the whiteboard. So I want to show you how this non-disjunction actually happens, okay? It's going to be kind of a rough sketch, so let's start off with what it should look like normally. So this is going to be normal meiosis. So I want to illustrate for you how non-disjunction actually occurs. Now, this is our parent cell, and I want to be very clear about this. I want you guys to watch, try to really pay attention because I can only have time to do this once. Here's a maternal chromosome, here's a paternal chromosome. What do we call these chromosomes? One from mom, one from dad, they're a pair together. What are they called? Homologous chromosomes. They have the same information on them. Now, what do these chromosomes do during S phase of interphase? What do they do? They double themselves. So we're no longer have chromosomes. What are they going to form? Sister chromatids. Okay? So that's an S phase. And then we're going to go through meiosis 1. Does that appear to be an even separation and division to you? 2 together, now 1 and 1? Yes, that's normal. So this is meiosis 1. Let's move on to meiosis 2. They're going to divide again. Okay. So, guys, that is normal. I like to ask you, based on what you see, all you have to use is use your eyes. What is this organism's diploid number? Raise your hand. What is the diploid number of this organism? All you have to do is look. Don't be shy. Look at the parent cell. How many chromosomes do you see in the parent cell? Dan, how many do you see in the parent cell?
I see 2 sister chromosomes, or 2.
2 chromosomes. So diploid equals what?
2.
Okay, let's look at the daughter cells. How many chromosomes does each daughter cell have? So what is the haploid number of this organism? Makes sense? Diploid is 2, haploid is half of that, 1. Now, that's normal, okay? Let's be clear about that. What I just drew for you, that's a normal process. Now, I want to show you what happens when there is non-disjunction in meiosis 1. Okay? Here we go. So we have our parent cell, maternal chromosome, paternal chromosome. So how many chromosomes are in this cell, guys? So what's the diploid number? 2n equals 2. It's going to go through S phase. And now you're going to have sister chromatids. The DNA has doubled itself. Now, here's where the magic happens. I should say the mistake. Did that divide evenly? Definitely not. Oops. This is non-disjunction. It is an incorrect division of chromosomes. So let's keep going. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this one step further. Let's say that these are all egg cells. Here's a sperm cell. Here's a sperm cell. Here's a sperm cell. Here's a sperm cell. I want you to look closely at those sperm cells. How many chromosomes is in each sperm cell? How many little colored squiggles? 1. So it's going to match up. Now I should draw this over here. So let's go back to. I got you guys going all over the place. Go back to your normal meiosis and let's put in the sperm cells here. So this will make more sense when we go to the non-disjunction. Okay, there's a sperm. There's a sperm. There's a sperm. There's a sperm. How many chromosomes are in each egg cell here? How many chromosomes are in each sperm cell here? So 1 and 1. So what is 1 plus 1? And what do you call the cell when a sperm fertilizes an egg? Correct. It's called a zygote. Hold on a sec. Don't worry about the colors here, guys, necessarily. Just look at the number of cells. So let's be clear about something. You said at the very top, the parent cell is diploid. I'm going to try to slow myself down because I know I'm going fast and it's not helping. What is the cell condition of these egg cells, diploid or haploid? They're haploid, and haploid would equal what in this case? What number? Good. What is the cell condition of these sperm cells? Haploid or diploid? And what is their haploid number? Good. And now take a look at these zygotes. Are they haploid or diploid? Very good. And what is their diploid number? Very good. Okay. Now let's go over here. I think we're all caught up. Okay. Let's make some zygotes now. Oops, yeah, got this. Okay. What should these egg cells all be? Should be haploid. Are they? No. Are the sperm cells haploid? Yes. So take a look at the zygotes. What should the zygotes be? Kind of. They are diploid, but now they're all going to be monosomic or trisomic. So take a look at this first one. Is this zygote monosomic or trisomic? Trisomic. So what's the symbol for trisomy? What about this next one? Trisomy or monosomy? Next one, trisomy or monosomy? Next one, trisomy or monosomy? So are any of them going to be normal? Air quotes. No. So here's the big question I'd like to ask you. When you have non-disjunction take place in meiosis 1, what are the odds that you will form gametes that are aneuploidic? Is it 0%, 25%, 50%, 75%, or 100%? Dan?
100%.
You're going to have a 100% chance of having zygotes that are aneuploidic. You'll have 2 that have an extra chromosome. You'll have 2 that are missing a chromosome. That is what happens when non-disjunction takes place in meiosis 1. Now, finally, let's draw what happened if you have non-disjunction take place in meiosis 2. Okay, so starting off like we did already, we have our parent cell, 1 mom chromosome, 1 dad chromosome. So the diploid number is still 2 chromosomes. Okay, it's going to go through S phase, and all the DNA gets doubled. So now we have 2 sister chromatids. Now it is going to divide. Okay, compare this to your normal version. Does that look right? Yeah, that's fine. Meiosis 1 went off without a hitch. Now look what happened. One of the cells ended up going through non-disjunction, the other one didn't. So let's add our sperm cells to this. Okay, let's draw some zygotes. Okay, 2 plus 1 is 3. That doesn't look right. 0 plus 1 is 1. That doesn't look right. 1 plus 1 is 2, and 1 plus 1 is 2. So let's look at each of these. What condition would you say the first one has? Monosomy, trisomy, or is it a proper diploid? It is trisomy, correct. How about the second zygote? Monosomy. How about the third zygote? Diploid. How about the fourth zygote? Diploid. So here's my question. If non-disjunction takes place in meiosis 2, what percent of your zygotes are going to be aneuploidic? All right, so you have a 50% chance of having euploidic zygotes, normal zygotes. So, gun to your head, if you had to go through non-disjunction, which one would actually be more favorable if it happened in meiosis 2? Okay. All right. This will all be on the video when you guys go back on YouTube if you need to look it up again. Okay. Are there any questions with non-disjunction, monosomy, or trisomy? All right, and let's keep going. Let's get into types of chromosomes. Now, I like to say that boys and girls are 22/23 the same. And there's actually some truth behind that. It's probably a little oversimplified, but boys and girls have 10 fingers, 10 toes. Boys and girls have 206 bones. Boys and girls have 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 1 bladder, 1 stomach, 1 pancreas, 1 liver, 1 brain. I can go on and on and on. Well, the chromosomes that build our bodies, everything that we have in common, our bones, our muscles, our organs, these chromosomes are called autosomes. They are common chromosomes in each gender. And they form common traits. We don't say, Ryan, you have 10 fingers. You must be a boy. That's not how it goes. That is not a gender exclusive trait. I don't say, Risa, you have 206 bones. You must be a girl. Boys have 206 bones too. So autosomes are what we all have in common. When it comes to humans, our autosomes are chromosomes 1 through 44. What pairs would those be? 1 through what? Right. So boys and girls are basically 22/23 the same. If you develop some sort of aneuploidy to these chromosomes, your chances of survival are very slim. There's only 3 known cases of someone having an extra autosome where they actually survive birth. You actually make it to birth and you live. Now, there's no guarantee that you'll make it to like your teenage years or adulthood, but you'll at least be alive when you're born. And I was like, what's the alternative? A miscarriage, a stillborn. You might not even make it through full development. Yeah.
Why is it more common in sex cells?
Because you don't need your sex chromosomes to form a body. Your sex chromosomes just develop your sex characteristics. You don't need those to survive.
And the body can just like differentiate like
Yep.
what is important and what's not.
Yep, because your final pair of chromosomes are your sex chromosomes, and the information on those sex chromosomes is nowhere near as much as the information on your autosomes. And that gives us a good transition to sex chromosomes. Sex chromosomes are responsible for the unique traits in each gender. You know, males and females have, obviously we have same stuff going on. We have same bones, muscles, organs, all that stuff. But there are just a few differences between the two genders, things that you don't need to survive. Males don't have to have penis, testicles, prostate, more body hair, deeper voice, more muscle mass to live. You need it to reproduce, typically to attract a mate and other stuff, but you don't need it to live yourself. In fact, I remember when I was in college, our professor said, everyone, there's 11 systems in the human body. Which one can you live without? And the answer is your reproductive system. You don't need it to live. You need it to reproduce, but you don't need it for you. So sex chromosomes for females, we inherit an X from our mother and X from our father, if you're a girl. If you're a male, you inherit an X from your mother, a Y from your father. So all of you have 2 of each kind of chromosome. You have 2 of chromosome 1, 1 from mom, 1 from dad. You have 2 chromosomes for pair 2, 1 from mom, 1 from dad. Well, flash forward to your sex chromosomes, ladies. You have 1 X from your mother, 1 X from your father. Where did your father get his X chromosome from? His mom. That's why some of you look like your dad's mom. That's why there's a lot of similarities between a granddaughter and grandmother on the father's side. Guys, where did you get your Y chromosome from? Your dad. Does your mom have a Y chromosome? No. So which parent actually determines your gender? Your father does. Because no matter what, which chromosome do we always inherit from mom? We always inherit one of mom's 2 X's. Dad is the one that determines the gender. So we inherit this. If you're a girl, you got 1 of those from mom, 1 of those from dad. If you're a boy, you got your X chromosome from mom, you got your Y chromosome from dad. But there's a little asterisk here. The Y chromosome isn't really what makes a guy a guy. It's the SRY gene. The SRY gene is carried on the Y chromosome. It's responsible for male traits. So you've likely at least heard of these gender reveal parties, which have become a thing the last decade. And generally you don't have a gender reveal party until she's about 4 or 5 months into her pregnancy. There's a reason for that. Because your gender is nondescript up to a certain point. You're not a boy or a girl. You're just an it. Your gender has not been determined yet. It's indeterminate. And then here's what happens. I want you guys, you don't need to write this down. Just watch. So let's say you're a zygote. And you're proceeding along your development. Please watch. You're going like first month, second month, third month. And then you come to a point. If you do not have the SRY gene, you will proceed development as a girl, and you'll be born as a little daughter. If you do have the SRY gene, it will turn on, and you are going to have an altered development, and you will be developed as a little son. So we all develop the same up to a point. If you develop as a boy, your SRY gene turned on. If you developed as a girl, you don't even have an SRY gene, you're going to continue developing as a girl. Now, there are some traits that we have in common. For instance, here's a common question. Why do guys have nipples? Guys don't breastfeed. What's the point of having them? Why do we have them, Ryan? Because nipples, no, you didn't start development as a girl. Remember, you're nondescript. That means that nipples were developed in utero before your gender was. It's the same reason why you and Risa have 10 fingers and 10 toes, because guess what came first? Your digits or your gender? Your digits came first. Your fingers developed before your gender did. I see, Ayla, just be patient. Now, there are a few body parts on guys that used to be of female destiny. For example, testes. Guess what those used to be? Ovaries. During the third trimester and within your mother, your testes drop. They drop from your abdomen into your scrotum. You might say, drop. Why were they inside in the first place? Spermatogenesis has to be outside the body because sperm need cooler temps. Duh. Well, that's because they were in your body because they were ovaries. Now, another fun fact is the following is the most common male defect on Earth. And it's the most common male procedure on Earth. I bet someone here might have one. When the testes drop, sometimes the intestines follow them. And you end up getting a little thing called a hernia. When you boys go to the doctor's office, they tell you to drop your pants, turn your head, and cough. That's what they're checking for. Girls don't have to go through that, so they're like, what are you talking about? When you go to the doctor's office, the doctor will stick his hand right up your leg, say, all right, Ryan, all right, Duncan, all right, Turner, turn your head. Cough really good. Come on, give me a good cough. Well, hopefully they're wearing a glove. Now, they're checking for a hernia. Here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to put your hands on your gut, like right here, right where your abs would be. And I want you just to go, ha, 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 ha. Do you feel that it's like pressing forward? Well, when you do that, your muscles will kind of push on your intestines. And if a doctor can feel a protrusion, they're going to say, okay, you can't play sports until you get this fixed. But this is the most common male surgery and procedure to repair it on Earth. The common symptoms are when you stand up, it looks like it's a little bulge. That's going to be your intestine poking out. When you lie down, it goes away. I had a student last period that says, I have that. Well, you need to get that fixed. So it's the most common male procedure on Earth. It happens all the time. It's just when the testes drop, sometimes the little intestine follows it.
I thought there was one more that was more common that was also down there. Is that less common? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't follow. Anything's fair game in bio.
Removing foreskin, right? Is that also as common?
That's just something that is cultural. That's a cultural thing. Some countries and people do it, some don't. Now, so that's one thing. Testes were originally ovaries. So for those of you who might have any idea of what anatomy is, what is that tube that the ovaries are attached to that leads to the uterus? Fallopian tubes. Well, what did that become in the guys? Not the urethra. That's in your penis. That's where you pee out of. Vas deferens. Some of you might have fathers that have had a vasectomy. A vasectomy takes sperm from the testes to the prostate. When you cut the vas deferens, there's no more sperm. There's still ejaculate, but there's just no sperm in it. So this is what a lot of couples do if they're settled on the amount of kids they want. They don't have any unplanned pregnancies. You know, dad will just get a little snip, snip. Yes, Ayla? Yeah, you cut them and you tie them closed, and that's it.
Okay, and then is it possible to have the Y chromosome but not the SRY gene?
No. There's the X chromosome has a lot more information on it that you need. The Y chromosome doesn't have hardly anything at all. Yes. Shh.
What about intersex people?
Hermaphroditic? We'll get to that. That's still to come. Now, let's keep going. There's other things that guys said that used to be of female origin. Guys have to have a place for the testes. That's called the scrotum. Guys, you probably just call it the sac. Well, that originally was your labia minora and majora. On the opening of the female reproductive system, there's labia minora and majora, but when the SRY gene turns on, the labia extends and extends and extends, and they fuse together. And they form a pouch for the testes to descend into. And there's a little line, like a stitch, that goes down the scrotum, which shows evidence of where the two sides came together to fuse. This little line right here in your face, this is evidence of your face coming together. Your face, it's like a reverse banana peel. Your face fused together, and this is evidence of that. Well, there's a lot. I mean, we're bilateral. Our left side is like our right side, so we basically just come together. There's one more. Do you want this last one? Evidence that guys used to be developing as a female. The penis has erectile tissue. The clitoris has erectile tissue too. A male's penis was originally designed to be a clitoris. And then when the SRY gene turned on, the clitoris became the penis. Ryan, did that take your breath away?
I mean, that's some information to me.
Well,
I did not. I'm learning today.
I thought you guys would find today and tomorrow interesting.
Very.
Okay, so Jasmine asked, is it normal? You know, I said that my aunt has one X chromosome. She says it's normal to have one Y. The Y chromosome is very small. It hardly has any information on it at all. So there's not enough information there to kind of cap off a person. They're not going to have enough information to be stable. Not to be stable. I didn't mean to, I'm thinking chemistry. There's not going to be enough information there or genetics there to complete a person. Because as you will learn the week after Thanksgiving, there are things on the X chromosome that have nothing to do with gender that you need. Like, is anyone in here colorblind? Red, green? You inherited that from your mother. You inherited on your mom's X chromosome. Now, does the ability to see red and green have anything to do with being a boy or a girl? No, but it's carried on a sex chromosome. We'll learn about that later. So, what color am I holding up? What color am I holding up? What color is Sage's shirt? Huh? It looks kind of grainy, doesn't it? Yeah. We'll learn about that later. Does anybody else know someone that has red-green color blindness? Boy or girl?
Boy.
Boy. I only have one person my entire life I've known that was a female. It was a student I had like 6 years ago. She was like the triple rare. She was blonde, rare, green eyes, rare, colorblind, really rare for a girl. We'll get to that after Thanksgiving. All right. We have 5 minutes left. Let's get into some conditions, shall we? The next thing is a karyotype. Now, this will probably be the last thing we do. We won't get to the conditions today. We'll get to them tomorrow. We have plenty of time tomorrow. A karyotype is a visual diagram of an individual's chromosomes. This is used in forensics. This is used in 23andMe. This is used in genetics. This is used to determine the gender of a baby. Imagine that you have a woman who is having a child a little bit later in life, and it's a well-known fact that as a woman gets older and older and older, her eggs get older with her, and the odds of having some sort of chromosomal abnormality are enhanced. And so she wants to know if she's pregnant and she's maybe like 2 or 3 months into pregnancy. She wants to know how everything's cooking, if everything's cooking well. Well, she doesn't want to wait until the child's born or wait till there's like a sonogram, you can see the gender. She wants to know now. And also wants to know if there are any chromosomal abnormalities. So she wants to have a karyotype done. So the only way to do this is you have to actually get a genetic sample of your embryo, which can sometimes be a little invasive. You have to actually poke it with a syringe and extract some blood or some sort of genetic material, which not every soon-to-be mother would want to have done to their cooking baby. But nonetheless, let's say you get one, and we're going to have 23 pairs here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. How many chromosomes do we inherit from our mothers? Come on, guys. 23. So I'm going to put one chromosome from mom in each pair. How many chromosomes do we inherit from our fathers? 23. And what do you call it where the chromosomes pair up because they have the same size, traits, and banding patterns? Homologous. Okay, so this is what a karyotype would be. Now, I want you to look closely at pair number 23. This is your sex pair. How do you know if it's a girl or a boy? Here's how. You ready? An X chromosome is really big, like this. A Y chromosome is really shrimpy, like that. So take a look at the 23rd pair. Are those big chromosomes or small ones? So would you say this is going to be a boy or a girl? You would say this is a girl. Now I want you to look at all the pairs. Do all the pairs look normal to you? 2 per pair. Yes? Okay. So you would be able to say it looks like this child has 2 per pair, and it's going to be a girl. Congratulations. What do you want to do? So now, let me show you a few things that could actually happen if, and this does happen, I shouldn't say often, but this is what some people want to get a karyotype done for this very reason. Ready? What's that? How do you know? There's 3 in the 23rd pair, or 21st pair. Is it a boy or a girl? It's a girl, okay? Let's watch this.
Does it matter if the extra chromosome is coming from mom or dad?
No, it typically comes from mom, though, if it's later in life.
So is the mom like a recessive carrier?
It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with being recessive. It's non-disjunction. It's a mistake. Take a look at this, boy or girl? How do you know? All right, what about, hold up, one more. What's that? Trisomy, what pair? 13. All right, last one. Let me show you my aunt, Turner syndrome. You see it? 1X instead of 2. All right, we will pick up exactly where we left off tomorrow.